The start and stop principle makes it possible to save fuel. Option A yes, option B no. Reduces noise pollution. So for this question, the answers are option A and option C. Why? The stop and start principle is a standby system, a device for automatically stopping and starting a car engine. So it is designed to save fuel and reduce pollution. It is partially used in a traffic jams where it saves energy if the engine is stopped for more than 3 seconds. But it also eliminates engine noise and vibration when the engine is momentarily stopped, which is around 35% of the time in the urban driving. So the next question is, before leaving my vehicle, I should check option A, the handbrake is on, option B, the doors are locked, option C, the gear lever is in neutral, option D, the windows are up. So, so for this question, the answer are option A, option C, and option D. Why? Option A, the brakes are on. And option C, the gear level is in neutral. And the option D is windows are up. Why? Once parked, the driver must carry out a few checks before leaving the vehicle. It is important to apply the handbrakes to bring the car to a complete stop. The gear stick lever should be in a neutral as a precaution to prevent the vehicle from moving unexpectedly when the engine is restarted. Closing the window properly will prevent the car from being broken into and will keep out the rain in the case of changeable weather. Door should be locked once you have left the vehicle. So the next question is, I have to drive option A without light, option B with dipped headlight, option C front fog light, option D with rear fog light. So for this question the answer are option B, light for the position lights, and the option D, rear fog light. In the foggy condition, my vehicle must be visible to other road users during the day. At the night, it must also be visible, but I must have optimal visibility to steer if safely in all circumstances. In difficult weather condition where the visibility is reduced for everyone, as in this case it is a fog, so I must drive with my headlights on and my rear fog lights on, and the front fog lights are optional. So the next question is, I have been driving for nearly 2 hours in this condition. I am planning to stop. First, to clean the headlights of my vehicle. Option A yes, option B no. Second, to take a break. Option C yes, option D no. So for this question, the answer is option A yes, option B C yes. Why? Driving is an activity that takes away energy from the driver. So under normal condition, we recommend stopping for a break every 2 hours. This is very true in the difficult condition. In the snowing condition, grip and visibilities are reduced and this demand extra attention from the driver. So it is important to take a break, or it is important to continue to clearly seeing thanks to the dipped beam headlight or a front fog light. It is therefore necessary to check that all the lights are not covered in the ice. So I am planning to stop for these two reasons. So the next question is, I will take this sign into account during the school time. Option A yes, option B no. During the school holidays, option C yes, option D no. So for this question the answer are option A and option C. Why? Children can walk on the pavements and cross road at any time of the day. So this is a particularly the case when the school starts and ends early in the morning, at midnight, and in the late afternoon. By school outing are organized outside these time. Obviously, I have to take this sign into account during school time, but during holidays, I may also come across children as many educational establishments are using as a leisure center. So I take this sign into account all the time. I slow down and I pay attention to the pedestrian on the pavement. In this situation, option A, slow down and stop. Option B, slow down and move over. Option C, I pass without slowing down. So for this question, the answer is option B. Why? I drive here in a residential area. It is normal for me to come across families or other vulnerable road users. Here, these pedestrians walk on the pavement in the completely safety zone, but I have to think that one of them might step off and come into the road to avoid the pole. I have to take these responsibilities in account in my driving and adapt accordingly. I slow down to give myself time to move aside in a case the situation changes, making sure that no one is coming in front of me. So, the next question is, in this situation, I expect to meet option A, pedestrians, option B, cyclist, option C, children, and option D, nobody. So for this question, the answers are option A, option B, and option C. Why? As we can see that I drive here in a residential area, it is normal for me to come across families or other vulnerable road users. So I will or I can meet people, children, and the cyclists in this zone. So the next question is, this child is well installed. Option A is yes, option B is no. So for this question, the answer is no. The belt is not fitted correctly because it is passes over the neck and the stomach. In the event of an impact, there is a risk that the belt compresses the stomach instead of holding the person and risk of scratch on the neck. So so the next question is, emergency brake assist or AFU must be linked to the presence of anti-lock braking system ABS. Option A yes, option B no. Next is automatically triggered the hazard warning light. Option C yes, option D no. So for this question the answers are option A and option C yes. If my vehicle is fitted with emergency brake assist AFU, it must be fitted with ABS anti-lock braking system. It detects an abnormally rapid change from the accelerator pedal to the brake pedal. In emergency situation, it amplify braking to the maximum without locking the wheel. If the AFU is triggered, the hazard warning light comes on automatically. So the next question is, I can option A stop before the sign, option B stop after the sign, option C park before the sign, and option D park after the sign. So for this question the answers are option A and option B. I can stop before the sign and after the sign. Why? The sign means no parking before or after, as we can see from the picture. So, from a previous intersection to the next. However, you are still allowed to stop both before and after. What does this question says? So this question says, in this build up area I can drive. Option A with the position light only, option B with the low beams, option C with the fog light. So for this question, the answers are option A and option B. Option A with the position light and option B with the low beam light. Why? In the built up area, it is preferable to use low beam at night. It is also permissible to use parking light alone if the roadway is sufficient light to the see, and if the public lighting allow you to see the roadway ahead clearly. Fog light can only be used in the foggy weather, which is not here in this case. So the next question, for the greater safety, when I park on the slope, I turn the wheels. Option A, street side. Option B, street side, walk side. So for this question, the answer is option B, sidewalk side. When? Why? When I pull up alongside in order to park a downhill slope, there always the risk that my vehicle will start moving if the parking brake isn't properly applied. So it is therefore advisable to turn the wheels to the sidewalk to limit the risk. I can also engage a gear to avoid the free wheeling. So the next question is, I honk. Option A yes, option B no. Second, I slow down. Option C yes, option D no. So for this question, the answers are option B and option C. Why? There is nothing more disruptive than a group, especially at a festival event. So there is no point in honking here. Besides, this is not a case of immediate danger. There is only one situation I should slow down. So
Question
the
is,
next, the sign announced a series of dangerous bend. Option A, the first of which is to the right. Option B, first left. Option C, at 50 meter, and option D is 150 meter away. So for this question, the answers are option A and option D. Option A, the first of which is to the right, and option D, 150 meter away. So this sign announces a series of turns, the first of which is to the right as indicated by drawing on the sign. For this type of sign, there are two signals depending on whether the first bend is right or a left. What's more, as I am driving outside a build up area, the danger starts around 150 meter away. So, in this question, I will have a priority at the next intersection. Option A yes, option B no. At the following intersection, option C yes, option D no. So,
so
for this question, the answers are option A yes and option D no. Why? The yellow diamond mean that you are currently driving on a priority road, which mean that all intersections are equipped with the stop sign until further notice. The yellow diamond should not be confused with the spot priority, which apply only to the next intersection.
thank
This part of the accident report must be completed. Option A by both drivers, option B by one driver only, option C by the insurer. So, for this question, the answer is option B by one driver only. Why? The front of the accident report is reserved for the two driver involved and the back, which can be seen here. So it can be filled in either by of them at home in complete peace of mind. So it should be filled by only one driver. The insurance does not touch anything, and the accident report must be received within the 5 days. So next question, Visual clarity is generally better at night. Option A yes, option B no. So for this question the answer is option B. As soon as night falls, vision changes and generally speaking we lose visual sharpness at night. So you can expect a loss of 1 to 3 decimal places as well as the reduction in the visual field. Contrasts are also less clearly perceived, which can make certain obstacles. I need to be very vigilant when it starts to get dark and not be overconfident in my power of perception. So, the next question is, a driver visual range is approximately 180 degree when stationary. Option A yes, option B no. 30 to 130 kilometer per hour. Option C yes, option D no. So for this question the answers are option A and option C. The faster you drive, the more limited your visual range become. While the field of vision at standstill is around 180 degrees, as soon as you start moving, this field narrows, or rather clear vision in this field. From 40 kilometer per hour, the field of vision is only 100 degree. So which shrinks to 30 degree at 130 kilometer per hour. To counterattack this psychological phenomena, which is not always apparent and it not always necessary on the video either, you need to keep your eyes constantly on your surrounding and check your mirror regularly to anticipate the events. So the next question is, the driver climbs out of his car. I can turn the left. I can turn the indicator to the left. So option A is yes. Option B is no. So for this question, the answer is yes. It's better to put your indicator on for nothing than to have a make a gap without warning. I put on the indicator and move out of the lane. So the next question is, the length of the XL line is generally option A 1 meter, option B 3 meter. The length of the interval of the XL line is generally option C 5 meter and option D 10 meter. So for this question the answers are B and D. The length of XL line is 3 meter and the length of interval or the gap between the XL line is generally 10 meter. So XL line has a gap greater than the line. To symbolize the possibility of crossing this line to the overtake outside build up area, the length of line is 3 meter and the length of gap is 10. What does this question says? So this question says it is time to speed up the pace again. Option A yes, option B no. So for this question the answer is option B no. Why? Because I am approaching a blind bend here and I need to be in the slowing phase to avoid the influence of spin. For those reasons, this is not the time to accelerate the speed. I will wait until I am out of this bend and the visibility is good before stepping on the accelerator again. So the next question is, to cross the intersection. Option A, place your foot on the front of the brake. Option B, just take your foot off the accelerator. Option C, accelerate to pass. So for this question, the answer is option A. Place your foot in the front of the brake. Why? When there is no clear view of the road ahead at an intersection, I should always put my foot on the brake for safety's sake, even when the traffic light is green, because you can never be sure that someone who is going to jump in front of. Accelerating to go through a green light often means making the mistake of going through a yellow light when you should stop. So, the next question is, when someone overtakes me, I must turn on the red indicator. Option A yes, option B no. Keep to the right hand side edge of the road. Option C yes, option B no. So, for this question, I have to turn on the right indicator. For this, the answer is option B no. To keep to the right hand edge of the road, option C is yes. Why? While overtaking another road users on a two-way carryway, the almost care must be taken. It is important not to get in the way throughout the turning movement. In particular, my speed must be regulated without speeding up or slowing down. I must keep as close to the right hand edge of the road as possible. There is no point in turning on the right hand indicator, as this can mislead you to the wrong direction. So, the next question is, at 130 kilometer per hour I am at the safest distance. So for this question, the answer is option B no. Why? At 130 km per hour, you need to leave a safety distance of at least 72 meter, which corresponds to the distance covered in 2 seconds in compliance with the regulation. The gap left here is insufficient. Why? Because at the best I can only have two lines and two gaps on the center line, which is barely 30 meter. I have to slow down to increase the space. So the next question is, during a roadside check I must be able to produce option A, the vehicle registration certificate, option B, insurance certificate, option C, driving license, option D, the joint accident report. So for this question, the answers are option A, the vehicle registration certificate, option B, the insurance certificate, and option C, the driving license. Why? Because when I am on my road, my vehicle papers are compulsory, such as registration certificate, insurance, and the driving license. If my vehicle is more than 4 years old, my failure to present these documents may result in a fine, and I will have to present them as soon as possible to the police. The joint action report is not a compulsory document to present. So, what does this question say? So, this question says that if I lose a point on my driving license, I can get it back. Option A within 6 months, option B within 1 year, option C if I doesn't lose any other points during this point, option D if I lose another point during this period. So, for this question, the answers are option A and option C. Option A within 6 months. Option C if I do not lose any other points during this period. Why? You may lose a point on your driving license either by driving over a continuous line or by speeding at more than, less than, or more than the speed limit. This point can be recovered quickly as little as 6 months later, provided that no other offense involving the lose of point is committed during this period. So, if you do so, the lose point is no longer recoverable. So the next question, it says, the carpooling helps to reduce the number of vehicles on the road. Option A yes, option B no. Reduces pollutant emission. Option C yes, option D no. So for this question, the answer is option A yes, that it reduces the number of vehicles on the road, and option C, yes, it reduces the pollution. Why? Because car sharing is a joint use of private car. This help to optimize the use of vehicle by avoiding each user taking his or her own car. So it is a win and win situation in terms of fuel saving and sheer maintenance cost. So carpooling means fewer vehicles on the road at the same time with the added benefit of reducing the pollution emission. So the next question is the level of carbon monoxide emitted by the tailpipe of my petrol powered vehicle is systematically checked at the roadworth test. Option A, yes. Option B, no. During a roadside inspection. Option C, yes. And option D, no. So so for this question, the answers are yes, yes, it has to be tested at the roadworth test, and no during the road line inspection. Why? Anti-pollution standards required vehicle to be checked at the roadworth line test for patrol vehicle. The carbon monoxide level is measured, which must not exceed a certain value depending on the age of the vehicle. For diesel vehicle, the capacity of the smoke is measured, which must also not exceed a certain value depending on the age of the vehicle. So, this test is not always carried out during the roadside inspection. So, the next question is, this vehicle is one of the least polluting. So, for this question, the answer is no. Why? All the vehicle with internal combustion engine are polluting, whether they run on diesel, petrol, or even LPG gas. However, some vehicles are less polluting than other. This is thanks to the effort of the car manufacturer. This vehicle has a D rating for the carbon for the COT emission. This is not a very good grade. So this vehicle can be considered to be fairly polluting. I am looking for a better design vehicle such as hybrid or even electric vehicle. So the next question is, this sign allows me to overtake this slow moving vehicle. Option A is yes, option B is no. I overtake immediately. Option C, yes, option D, no. So for this question, this it allow us to move slowly. Option A is yes. I overtook immediately. For this is option D, no. Why? Although the line on the road it allows slow down to overtake, I cannot overtake immediately. I can see an oncoming vehicle in the distance, so for the moment I will stay where I am. Once I have passed the vehicle, and if the sign still allow me to do so, and if all the safety conditions are met, then I will be able to overtake. So thank you for watching.